Good morning or afternoon based on when you have math class. Today we're going to draw a flow map over how to solve inequalities. It's going to look very familiar because it's something we did when we did equations, and that's because you still follow the same steps as we did with equations. So this, we're still working in Unit 2, it's just we're in the second part of Unit 2, and it involves inequalities, and they do match a lot of equations, it's just there's one extra part to it. Okay, so behind me I have the flow map for it, and we're going to go through step by step, and I'll give you time to write your notes for it in between each action. So we'll go ahead and let's get started. Okay, so for the first one here, you've got negative 3x minus 7 is greater than 5. That you should already have written on your paper. I don't have it, but you should already have it written on your paper. Below is the first step. If you have the problem like presented to you in Delta Math and you see it on Delta Math, you need to get a piece of notebook paper and write down the inequality that's up here on the notebook paper first thing. Next step, so I'm going to write it down, negative 3x minus 7. My next step is to box my variable and to draw the line down the inequality sign. So I'm going to draw my line. I'm going to box that variable. Okay, we're still organizing it the same way we did with equations. So I'm still doing the same organization. So box the variable. Draw a line down the inequality sign. At any time you need to pause this video to write down, because I'm going too fast, you may do so. Okay, for the next part, I still have the same equation, or inequality. Oops, I said equation. So I have my 3x minus 7 and 5. Okay, I have my line drawn. I need to undo addition or subtraction. So to undo any addition or subtraction, do the inverse operation to make it a zero pair. So I need to undo this minus 7 first. So I'm going to say plus 7. And whatever I do to one side, do to the other. That will cause this to zero out. And I still have 3x symbol, and then whatever this answer is. 5 plus 7 is 12. Forgot my negative symbol. All right, okay. So I also need to remember my integer rules, because sometimes we had a 5 plus 7, which is a quick one, but sometimes we have like a negative 20 and then a minus 10. You got to remember your integer rules on it. So if you need to go back to your journal and look at your notes, go back and look at and remember and use those integer rules. You can use your journal anytime you're doing an assignment, except for tests and CFAs. All right, so our next one here that we have, I now have it as negative 3x is greater than 12. Okay. For multiplication and division, I'm going to do the inverse operation, so the opposite operation. This is side by side, they're multiplying, so I'm going to do the opposite action, which is divide. So I divide by negative 3, and whatever I do to one side of the line, got to do the other, so divide by negative 3. That will get rid of this, so it's x, and then 12 divided by negative 3. I need to remember my integer rules. That still matters, so still remember my integer rules. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, so that's negative 4. And then this one I almost could fall into the trap. Watch for the trap. If you multiply or divide, if you're multiplying or dividing by negative, flip the sign. We just divided by negative 3. So I need to flip the sign. So instead of going this way, it's going to turn and go the other direction. So then x is less than negative 4. Okay, if you'll finish copying these notes down, go grab a glue stick that should be in the front of the room on the bar stool in the purple bucket, so you can grab a glue stick from there, glue this page in there, and then once you finish early and there's plenty of time left in class, I want you to go on to Delta Math and try to practice some of those problems. Tomorrow, you'll also have more practice problems with Delta Math. I will have a short video for you to do before you do your practice problems, with me doing some practice with you on the board. So, hope you have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow on Thursday.